I'm Logan Noone, and this is the Bipolar Disorder Recovery Story, Part 2. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you watched my Bipolar Disorder Recovery Story, Part 1, that I posted 4 years ago. I bet you have some questions for me, too. 4 years later, Logan, you said you were going to post more videos. You haven't. Also, why are you sitting in front of a creepy shrine of a bunch of baby photos of you? Trust me, I'll explain. It's a pretty good story, and it ends with me being on the wait list at medical school. Not into medical school, but I'm that close. That close. So just bear with me. So, after I made those videos, I went on this wild journey. It's been a great journey, and I honestly truly believe that life is easier living openly and honest about my bipolar disorder. People call me courageous. I don't feel that way. I personally just think this is something I'm prideful of, something that I lived through, but it gave me a purpose in life and something that I want to contribute to society. So immediately following those videos, I actually did make more videos. You probably didn't see them because they were terrible. Terrible. I just didn't really know what I was doing. I was trying to make viral videos again. I had like a random green screen in my house, all these props and lights, and reading all these things about videos online. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to help. But the videos didn't turn out so well because my intent wasn't there. My intent, at least my main intent, wasn't to help people. So after I moved on past those videos, that's really when I honed in on, I just wanted to figure out a way that I could help people. Because after making that initial video, so many people reached out to me and asking advice. And I realized I really enjoyed talking to people and trying to give advice to help, alleviate their symptoms of what they were going through. But at that time I was working in insurance. I had no qualifications and very minimal experience with helping people. So while I was working in insurance, I started Blissify. Blissify was a mental health fitness group that I started in Sacramento because, as you've seen in that first video, fitness was a huge part of my recovery. I was able to lose about 80 pounds, and I thought that 80-pound weight loss, what was greater than that weight loss, was the mental health benefits that I received. Also, I continued speaking out, just not so much in front of camera, but really one of my most favorite speeches was at the NAMI 2013 Sacramento walk. That was absolutely incredible, and if you click here, you can watch the video yourself. Now, while I was doing the Blissify, that mental health fitness group, I was able to meet people from all across Sacramento. We had people who were living lives where they went to work every day, but they were still experiencing a mental illness and wanted different ways to alleviate it. But also, I met people who were homeless and really struggling in Sacramento. That's really when I fully committed that I wanted a career helping people. And I did a lot of introspection. I didn't know if I wanted to go the nonprofit route. I didn't know if I wanted to go therapist or medical and be a psychiatrist. I wasn't really sure. So what deterred me away from starting a nonprofit is I was afraid much of my job wouldn't actually be helping people, but it would be trying to get money for that nonprofit. And that seemed very similar to me, that what I was doing in my insurance career, that just wasn't something I was very interested in. As for therapists, I thought being a therapist could be a really fulfilling career, and I had had high-quality therapists before that I had experienced. But psychiatry, I know that I had benefited so greatly from medication, but that journey towards medication was certainly difficult. You have to go through a trial and error process to find a medication that works for you, and sometimes the side effects are much worse than you were experiencing even in the first place. So I decided I want to go into the scientific route. I knew that I didn't want to do necessarily medical research because I didn't want to be locked away in a cubicle or like a laboratory all by myself. I'm a people person. I wanted to be around people, interacting with people. But my hope is that I can develop better tools of diagnosis, better medication treatments, just to help people catch these sort of ailments earlier rather than when essentially shit hits the fan and it gets really, really bad. So that was in, let me think, summer of 2013 is when I was running this mental health fitness group. And I ran it for that entire year, kind of on and off. It wasn't super serious. I didn't really post anything about it online, so I'm sure this is the first many of you have heard about it. But at that time, I was working in insurance still. I was extremely unhappy working in insurance. It was terrible. And come the summer of 2014, I decided, listen, I can't do this anymore. And I made a commitment to go back to school. Now, going back to school was challenging for me. And I ended up using a lot of my savings to go back to school. So I had some of the pre-medical requirements, but only really math. So I had to go back, and I went to actually community college where I took first level biology, and then 2 years of chemistry and 1 year of physics. At the end of that, I took the MCAT test and I applied to medical school. But throughout that entire process, it was very expensive and it burned through my entire savings. This is where I'm getting to the shrine part. So thankfully, my parents are some of the most supportive people in the world, and they have been helping me emotionally, financially throughout this whole journey. But at that point in May of 2016, I was like dead broke from applying to all these medical schools and trying to figure out how I was going to pay for supplemental costs and getting to the interviews. So I decided to move back in with my parents. Now, thankfully, they let me. It's been hysterically funny because right now my mother and father live here along with my fiance and our 2 cats. And I'm currently on the wait list for medical schools. I ended up applying to about 30 medical schools. I got 5 interviews and I'm waitlisted at 2. So hopefully, by the next time I make this video, I'll be into a medical school. But I really have realized in the past few years I've worked at a mental health living facility where these conserved individuals were essentially locked down at this facility, and they were transported elsewhere for medical appointments, but I got to see some extremely severe cases of mental illness. I also had some time shadowing a psychiatrist for about 6 months, where I saw, it was a public mental health facility. So we saw people that were deemed too psychotic for jail, people that unfortunately had been homeless for many, many years. So it was really an eye-opening experience to what this journey is going to be like later in my career. And then now I'm currently working at a drug and alcohol rehab facility up here in Connecticut. So I've learned so many valuable techniques and lessons over these past 4 years where I took a break from YouTube. But now I'm realizing knowledge is only so good, or knowledge is essentially useless if you don't spread it. And I want to really make an effort, and I want your help and your encouragement to share all the knowledge and the experiences that I have. And of course, fight the stigma of mental illness. So I plan on making more videos. I want to make a podcast, and I've even bought a microphone. I'm trying to take this shit serious this time. More serious than the first time. And thank you again for all your support throughout this podcast process. Please, hit the subscribe button. You can visit logannoone.com if you'd like to see more about what I've been through over these past 4 years. If you're interested in hiring me as a public speaker potentially, or if you're interested in any mentorship or coaching services that I will be offering, please visit logannoone.com. There's a link below. And thank you so much for watching.